Hello, Mr. Chu here with an Ask Mr. Chu shortcut. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe, and that helps me out because it helps me push out my videos to other people. So always send your questions to askmrchu@gmail.com. And I'm still replying to Sue's question about using math shortcuts, multiplication shortcuts, and this is a mental math one, mental multiplication, using a base number. So we're going to work example 1 and example 2 using two different base numbers. So remember, it's important that you subscribe and like my videos. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. So anytime I'm looking at this, I need to decide what base I want to use. So in 56 times 54, I can use a base of 50 because they're both close to 50, and I might be able to do it mentally. That's the whole point here. I could also use a base of 60. So we're going to do it both ways. So if I use a base of 50, my first question is going to be, how much above or below 50 is 56? Well, it's above it. It's plus 6 above it. And the 54 is plus 4 above the 50. So what I do now is I'm going to take my first number and add it to the above or below of the second one. And you're going to notice 56 plus 4 is the same as 6 plus 54 on either diagonal. So I take my 56 plus 4 to get my 60. And then I take that 60, I'll put two lines underneath it, and then I multiply it by my base. And most people can do 60 times 50 in their head. It's 3,000. Okay? So next, I say, all right, I've got something left over, my aboves up here. So I take my 6, my plus 6, times my plus 4 to get 24, and we add it, and my answer is 3,024. That's going to be my answer. Well, some people say, what if we used a base of 60? So the base of 60, remember what we do first. We say, is it above or below? 60 is above it, so we have to go minus 4 to get back to my number. And then we have to go minus 6 to get back to my number. And then we're going to take, since we're doing 56 times 54, the 56 minus 56 is going to be 50. 56 minus 6 is going to be 50. And then the minus 4 plus 54 would be 50, so it doesn't matter which one you use. So remember how we do this now. We take our 50 times our base, and that gives me my 3,000. Same numbers I had here. And then I take my negative 6, or negative 4, from my first one, times my negative 6 to give me my 24. And some people can do this in their head quickly. Now, I always have people that'll say, yeah, but Mr. Chu, is that really the answer? Well, take your 56 times your 54 and use your traditional algorithm. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is 22. Hold my place value. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 3 is 28. And when I add down, look what I get. 3,024. 3,024. All right. Now, the more you do this, the faster and easier it should be. So now if we use my 48 times my 46, and we use a base of, instead of going to 50, let's go to 40. Now, sometimes it's not going to be as easy to do it with a 40 or a 50. So probably the 50 will be the easiest. Let's do 50 first. And then over here we'll do a 40 just underneath it, just like we did here. So if I go to 50, 48 is smaller. How much smaller? -2. 46 is smaller than 50. How much smaller? 4. So we put a -4 here. So you remember what we do? We do our 48 plus -4. Or you could have done -2 plus 46. And both of them are going to give you 44. So now to use the process in the shortcut, you take this number times the base. Now, for some people, that is difficult. So you're saying, what do you mean it's difficult? It's hard for them to do it in their head. So this is what some math teachers will teach. If you can't do this in your head and multiply by 50, then multiply by 100 and divide it by 2. So the answer is going to be the same as multiplying by 100. Well, you multiply by 100, that's going to be 4,400, and divide it by 2 to get 2,200. And that's going to be the answer. I could have taken 50 times 44, and we know it's going to have a 0 on the end. 5 times the 4 is 20. There's another 0. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 22. So now I'm not done because I've got to deal with my leftover here. So I have my -2 times my -4, which is going to give me a +8. So I add 8 to it. So the answer is 2208. Well, let's see if that's true. If we use a base of, now let's go above. So we went below, we went above it to 50 and had our negatives. Now we're going to use a base of 40. The problem with using a base of 40, it's a little bit harder to multiply by 40 than what it is 50. 50 you can multiply by 100 and half it. And then sometimes it's just real easy, like 50 times 60 is 3,000. 40 may be a little bit harder. So you remember what you do. Look at the base and decide, is it going up or down? It's going up by 8 to get to 48. Now it's going up by 6 to get to 46. And you remember what you do? You add them. So I get 54 here, I get 54 here. So it doesn't matter which one you write down here. That's the number I'm going to multiply by my base. And the base here is 40. That one is a little bit harder to do. So you may have to do 54 times 40, which means it wouldn't have been a really good mental choice. Or if you can do it in your head, I know it's going to have a 0 on the end. And I know that 4 times 4 is 16. And then I carry the 1, 2160. Now you remember your next step and last step? You take your 8 times your 6, which is 48, and you add down. 8 times 0 is 8, 4 times 6 is 0, carry the 1, 2208, 2208. Now to check that and make sure it's really true, take your 48 times your 46, 6 times 8 is 48, carry the 4, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. Hold my place value, 4 times 8 is 32, carry the 3. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And when I add down, I get 8, 0, carry the 1, carry the 1, 2208, 2208. So I want you to try a couple of these. So you can do them both ways, going up and below. That's the way I'll do them when I do it in the video. The challenge is simplify each problem without a calculator using base number above and below for each. 55 times 58 and 49 times 47. So pause this. There'll be a link up here toward the end of the video after you try these two, and then click on the link to see if you did them right. Hopefully you can do them right. So there'll be a link down here with other Ask Mr. Chew videos. Remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel over here in the corner. And remember that I'm Mr. Chew, and I want you to send me your questions to askmrchew@gmail.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Try these problems.